Hello and welcome to TexWired by Aman. This is episode 17. This is a podcast where I cover trends and ideas in the textile and fashion industry. If that is something you're into, then please follow or subscribe to wherever you get your podcast from. So on that note, today's topic is going to be about tailoring, and I have a very close friend. Welcome, Jaikar, to the show.
Thank you, Aman. Thank you. It's good to be on the show.
Yes, I'm very excited to cover about tailoring because I get excited about tailoring because you are very excited about tailoring, and whenever you post something, it's very engaging. So that's where I want to start, like about your excitement. What got you into tailoring?
Aman, I've always had an interest in fashion. Since I was a kid, I've always wanted to dress up well. It gives me
Right.
a different type of confidence in me. And who doesn't want to look good, especially when you socialize with your friends and all. You want to look professional
Definitely,
when you go
definitely.
for jobs. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
for me, I feel a lot more comfortable whenever I dress up in style. And with
yeah.
tailoring also, I get many different clients. I get to meet different people from different countries and nationalities. I get to
Yeah.
experience a new culture. And personally, I've always liked to interact with clients, like face to face, rather than sit behind the desk.
Yeah, yeah, you're a very social person, so I'm sure. Also, tailoring, I understand your point because when you dress well, you just have a better confidence. Because when you realize and you know that you look good, you have this confidence, that you can do more because it's sort of like keeps you away from small insecurities that you feel socially. So when you dress well, I think that really helps with your personality sometimes, and I think that's where you're shining, bro.
Well, for sure, for sure. Honestly, I can't describe the importance of dressing up well. And again, I know a lot of people, my clients, that they find it very difficult to find the right size that fits them well. There's
Right.
always something that let's say for example, some people have like sloping shoulders. Their shoulders don't fit well. They have too long
Yeah.
arms, or the thighs are so big. This is
Yes.
where tailoring, yeah, it helps a lot.
Yeah, because this is where the import, like everybody has a different body type, but then they don't realize it because everybody's just doing the normal shopping from a store and they don't get things tailored. But then when they get things tailored to their body type, it's just a different game altogether when you get things tailored.
For sure, for sure. I to be honest, I didn't realize this myself before I joined the tailor. But once I started working here, I mean, my eyes are way more open than before.
Oh, so being a consumer yourself, do you think you also get things tailored for yourself, or you are just an enthusiast and you work in this industry?
Well, before I joined this work, I mean, I used to. I mean, even before I joined this work, I used to get a lot of stuff tailor made. I mean, it's my uncle's shop, so of course,
Okay.
like I used to get like my suits tailored and some of my shirts tailored. But normally, I would buy from department stores like Zara, H&M, and all.
Right.
But because before I wasn't exactly working in the tailoring industry, so I didn't really exactly have a like. I was pretty chill about it, to be honest. But
Right.
since I started working here, all my clothes are tailored. Of course, I have to be I'm a salesman, and I have to show my clients like what I'm wearing at the shop is
Yeah, yeah.
is
I got.
yeah,
Yeah,
for
I,
sure,
I, I
way
get
more,
that.
is way better than buying stuff off the rack.
Right. So do you think if somebody gets into get tailoring and will they ever go back into purchasing from the department stores or brands like Zara and H&M and all? Do you think you can go back once you are very fond of getting things tailored for yourself?
Personally, no. I for sure, I cannot find myself going back to a department store and getting myself like a ready-made shirt or suit. I really can't. I mean, for me, it's much more worth it to get stuff tailored when the quality is much better also, and you're getting exactly your right size and exactly the way you want it, and you can customize exactly like however you like it, whether it's the collar, the color of the shirt. The selection is way more. So I don't see myself going
Right.
back to off the rack.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. you just have everything for yourself. Like everything is for you, made for you, and done for you. So I think there is no there's no other luxury besides getting things tailored for yourself. Because from my personal experience, also, I occasionally get my shirts or trousers tailored, and I think I still wear them. It's been like 3 years, and they still fit perfectly fine, and they are very durable and they last so long. Like compared to other like shopping from brands, I do have these occasional issues of color fading or like stitching not being right at after a few wears and tears. But once you get things tailored, personally, I have never had a problem after. I think I would prefer it now.
For sure, I completely understand you.
Yeah. So, Jakar, since you are in the tailoring business, just maybe start with the process of tailoring so our listeners can understand what it is, what's inside this whole tailoring business.
Of course, of course. So basically, I mean, people always want to find something that fits them well. So the whole process is basically once you come in, the first step is to select the right fabric for yourself. Whether it's
Right.
something, you're going to wear something casual or formal, you
Right.
want something like a plain color or something in pattern, whether it's stripes, window pane, or anything at all,
Yeah.
depending on what the
Yeah.
client wants, basically. So
Yeah.
my job as a salesman is to show what they need, and of course along the process I need to provide my own professional experience, of course. Okay,
Right. Yeah.
so from there it starts with fabric selection, and where I like to stand out a bit is when they come in my store. I like to drape the fabric on their shoulder in front of the
Right.
mirror, so they can see clearly, okay, you know what, hey, does this suit my skin tone, does this suit me? When you see it from the mirror, you actually see, oh wait, this is a bit different. It's different from seeing from a sample book.
Right. 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 Because
Yeah.
some tones
So
apparently match your skin tone, and some like how people say some like dark colors are for some skin tones. Like for me, dark colors suit me best, but then light colors, it doesn't really go well with my skin type, or I don't know what the psychology about it is, but every time I wear a dark color or anything that's dark, it just fits me. I completely understand
yes,
that
yeah,
having dark, like
yeah,
draping those fabrics on people's on, on your customers, it definitely gives a
always,
better.
yes.
Yeah. So before we move further, from for somebody who has never been to a tailor shop, because tailoring is all customization and there are so many options. Everything can, there's an option for everything, like collar, buttons, fabric type, or whatever. So for somebody who wants to get something tailored, what do you think they should keep in mind when they go into a store? Or do they have to be worried about anything? Because there's some level of anxiety that comes into, because when I went to get something tailored for the first time, and they just gave me so many options, and I was just stuck. Like at one point I just thought, I don't want to get anything tailored because I can't decide what I want. And what do you do for somebody who doesn't know what they want, and but they want to get something tailored? What do you do for that?
To be honest, I mean, this is probably extremely common among some of my new clients that I've actually got, especially during these times and all. They're not exactly experienced in getting something tailored. So I
Yeah.
try to remove that anxiety and the questions that they have. So basically, I don't show too many fabrics. I will like, of course, you need to speak with confidence. Like you have to show them that they can trust you, and the
Right.
amount of experience that you have in this job, then you know what, you're in good hands. So I'll be like, you know what, you tell me the colors that you like. So let's say, for example, you're gonna get a suit for work.
Right.
Normally you're gonna go for the darker colors like navy blue, dark gray, or black. These are three most common colors.
Right. Right.
If it's your first time, I suggest you get a plain textured suit. Okay, don't get something too patterned because it's your first time. You want something a little bit more professional.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna show you these few fabrics. I'm gonna drape it on you in the mirror, and from there they usually see, oh, you know what, I like this one, and from there it goes on. So I don't want to show too many fabrics and explain too much because they'll
Right.
get confused. They'll be like, oh, you know what, do I like this? Do I like that? that, man, I'm like, I'm lost. So I try to
Yeah.
remove that fear out of them. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Or they just throw it into next time.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
Right. I've been there. Oh, I
Please.
feel very bad doing that to like a salesperson. So, like for when it comes to categories like shirts or pants or suits, I'm guessing the materials. To what extent the materials are different for all? Like, if for a fabric that's used for trousers, can you make a suit out of that too? Since the thickness of the fabric is quite similar, is that possible?
Yes, it is. It is very much possible. So mainly, most of our fabrics for suits that are and trousers are it's all wool. It's all cashmere wool or pure wool. So all these fabrics that are used for trousers are normally used for suits. Okay,
Right.
but not all of the suits. Like let's say for example, a suit is basically a jacket and trouser is one set. Now,
Yeah.
let's say, for example, you're getting just a blazer.
Right.
Sometimes, if you get too, there's a material called a tweed. Okay, it's a heavy material. Normally, it's used just for blazers, and it wouldn't be recommended too much for trousers at times. But it really depends. Most of the
Okay.
times, it can be used for both jacket and trouser.
Okay. Okay. That brings me to the next point, which is how important is the fabric? Does a tailor shop always have expensive fabrics or high end fabrics, or is it okay to have like a blend of let's say like a cotton polyester, or like have a cheaper fabric in terms of uh, the value? I would say do tailors offer such services as well to get cheaper fabrics tailored? Because what everything like the common perception about tailoring is that it is only for um, it's only for the high end like garments.
No, this is not the case because I mean, of course, I get what you mean because people actually perceive tailor as high end, but of course,
Yeah.
tailors also they offer a range of fabric which is more toward the people that don't want to spend too much. So yes, of course, we do stock like like cotton blend with the polyester, wool blend polyester.
Right.
So it's not that these suits won't. It's not that you won't like these suits
Right.
and it depends on how you take care of them also. But yes, the importance of fabric selection is very important. It has a huge impact on how satisfied your client will be. Whether it's the weight of the fabric, the durability, the sustainability, all these things come into mind. Let's say, for
Right.
example, if someone was to pick out like a silk white color suit and this type of like let's say a white silk is more susceptible to sunlight, okay, and
Right.
this type of quality is perceived as cheap one and it might not last very long. So these are things you have to keep in mind also, and of
Right.
course the tailor will explain you this side. But of course it's not they stock all type of a range of fabrics from the like blended fabrics to pure fabrics. It's not an issue. It just depends on how you like it. That's it.
Yeah. So tailoring is purely not luxury. You can get anything tailored. That's the
For
whole.
sure.
Right. I think that's a quite a misconception for a lot of people, because I have friends who work like full-time jobs, and I ask them, why don't you get your uniforms, not uniform, like your formal wear tailored, because you're going to wear it like for next 3-4 years, or, as long as you are working in a job. So, but they think, no, it's too much money to spend on tailoring because it's too expensive. I don't need that type of fabric for my daily wear and all. I don't want to be too fancy or flashy. Tailoring, it
Mm.
comes down to the whole perception of tailoring being only luxury.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you
But this
cleared
is
that.
where they
Yeah.
get the misperception.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is my point for like today's episode also, because I don't want the listeners to have this perception that tailoring is only for the luxury. You can get anything tailored at a lot of price points. So
Yeah. But I mean, some of my suits are even cheaper than Zara and H&M. Yeah.
right. How's that? How okay, like some people, I had a friend in this podcast earlier, and he said if he was to buy a formal a suit, right, he would definitely go into these high-end brands and shop from there because of the reliability in the quality. And he knows and he perceives
Mhm.
that brands, if they are selling something expensive, it should be of a higher quality. But from a personal experience, if when I compared the prices of say Zara's, buying a suit from Zara and getting something tailored, getting a suit tailored for myself, somehow the tailoring, like, it was even cheaper than buying from Zara. So how do you think that,
Yeah, yeah.
how is that possible? Like, can you break down like the the calculation briefly? Like,
So okay, so basically some of the suits, like let's say from Zara, some of them are of course not so expensive because they're ready made.
right,
But some of the suits, let's say for example, you're getting a pure cashmere wool blend with cotton.
right,
This price is almost, if not cheaper than Zara, it's almost the same, if not cheaper. All right, and
right,
the quality, according to me, is much better because over these fabrics they don't wrinkle at all. Number one, all right. The durability is amazing. It's going to last you a long, long time, and yeah, I mean, in terms of price difference, is very similar because some of the fabrics that they use and some of the fabrics that the tailoring use is
right.
very similar at times. It's just customized, which is different. That's it. That's it.
Yeah, and also the branding makes a huge difference in the price point also, because they are a brand, so they do have to add a lot of margin, which is very unnecessary for a consumer to go through. But instead,
Exactly.
if you can just divert the funds, like if I was to break down the costing, because I'm also in this industry, so I know how much margin these brands charge for, because they are a brand name. Similarly, if I was to get something tailored, if I minus the brand, the margin that the brands charge in their products, it is so much visible and makes more sense to get things tailored, because everything is better, like the quality, the fabric, the
Yeah.
durability, the fit, everything.
And
And
yeah, I mean, of course, we carry a lot of branded fabrics also. We have like from Bulgari, Hermes, Xenia. These are top range of fabrics. And the thing is, when you invest in a tailored suit, you have to think the durability of these suits is so long that you don't have to buy a suit so often. You understand? Like, I mean, for the long
right,
term, you're actually saving money rather than buying a suit off the shelf where you might have to, if your size changes or so, or like the quality is not good enough, you'll have to keep going back to buy a suit, something like this again. It's better to invest in a quality suit than buying a cheap one also.
right. So what are some things that people usually get tailored? Because generally what people understand, or what I've heard, is suits, shirts, and trousers. These are the three things that are tailored. What else is tailored?
These days, actually, Aman, there's a lot of people that wear like sports jacket, like just a blazer. They don't
Right.
really like, something that has like a different color button to go with your different color
Hmm.
pants. Yeah,
Right.
something to wear on casually or for business. You also have overcoats. A lot of my clients from abroad for winter wear something they want to wear in style and yet
Okay.
keep themselves comfortable. Yeah, overcoats and all are very common.
Hmm.
Yeah, and also let's say for example, for in terms of Arabs in Africa and all, they wear this type of suit. It's called safari. It's a it's
Right.
a it's a, it's a Chinese type of collar suit. Okay, and
Oh, okay.
at the edge of the neck, it's a little bit different. We also have
Oh,
Indian vests. Okay, I'm sure people have
yeah, yeah,
seen
yeah.
vests where you wear for weddings and all.
Yeah,
Yeah,
all
you
are
can wear that
traditional
too
wear.
also.
Right. So yeah, so it's not only like those formals, it's also like the traditional wear, or how different demographics have different tradition, and even the whole style of clothing is completely different, and somehow everything is tailored. I
It's
mean, there
it's
is
much
possibility for getting
it's
things
much
tailored.
more than just suits, shirts, and trousers. It's way more than that. Yeah.
Right, right, right. So basically anything. That's cool.
You can even get your handkerchief tailored. It doesn't matter.
Handkerchief, and on also pocket square. I think that is that is very under
Yeah,
discussed.
yeah, exactly. Pocket squares, ties, also anything.
Right, right, right. So okay, in all this thing, I've whenever I watch anything on tailoring, people always discuss about suits, like how there are so many types of suits. Like sometimes I don't, especially when I'm watching a Britisher on YouTube who's explaining the type of suits or formal wear. Of course, he's a designer, but then he just matches so many suits with so many occasions, like this is he just says like I don't even remember exactly what the suit was. There's a two three-piece suit, or there's only a vest but not the jacket. All these how do I say, combinations are apparently for different occasions. So
Mhm.
so can you break down like what are the types of suits that people should know, at least to begin with? Like what are the basic type of suits?
Of
Usually it's
course.
just suits and that's it, but for a man to know his suits, what are the like basic suits that he should be able to
Okay.
describe?
So to make it easy, okay, the most common, there are three types of suits. So you have a single breasted, which is the most common one.
Right.
It's either a two, three, or one button in the middle, which people normally see. All right.
Okay, right, yeah.
The other type is a double-breasted. Okay, a double-breasted is perceived a bit more during the 1980s or 70s, a little bit
Okay,
more
okay.
like more traditional, but it's
Yeah.
actually coming back in trend. But anyways, a double-breasted is normally it's like a overlapping front flaps, and it has like two symmetrical column of buttons. Okay, it
Oh,
comes
right, yeah, yeah.
that's a double-breasted suit. And then the
Okay.
last one, which is a lot of diplomats, I think you'll see like Jack Ma actually wearing is a Chinese collar suit.
Okay, yeah, Jack Ma. Right, 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 right.
Yeah, exactly. That's the last type of suit. So these are
That's a Jack.
three most common types of suit, but normally people go for single-breasted suits, which is pretty easy to wear, and yeah, is probably the most common to wear for work or even casually.
Right. It's easier to pair it with anything. Yeah. Okay. So there is
Yep.
single breasted, double breasted, and Chinese collar. Okay. So the
Yep.
listeners out there, these three suits are all you need to know. So just don't get into all those Britishers.
Yeah.
Right. So, along with tailoring, I think personally, I'm very big on sustainability. So while I was doing some readings on tailoring, I also came across how tailoring can be very sustainable at the same time. So you being a salesperson or in the industry, how effective do you think tailoring and sustainability work together?
Well, Aman, to be honest, let's say, for example, it's not a secret that the trend is changing. People look
Definitely.
for convenience much more, especially during this pandemic. You will see a lot of, even after the COVID is over, I think you will see some businesses working from home, depending on
Right.
the industry, of course. But this is the way the trend is changing. So people are using you like they prefer convenience more. They just shop online for clothes. They don't really want to go out there. So it is a challenge to tackle this. I mean, to
Okay.
convince people to get themselves tailor-made clothes rather than shop online. But
Right.
if if you're a new tailor, especially let's say you're coming in today as a new tailor, it is extremely difficult to sustain it for a long time because some of the tailors that have been there since like 30 years already, these
Right.
people are actually surviving, or the growth is still there is because they have a lot of old clients. They have a
Loyal
huge
customers. Yeah.
database.
Right.
Exactly. And these clients that, let's say for example, that we have, they're quite loyal to us. They will keep coming back for us to keep
Oh,
buying
definitely.
clothes, and
Definitely. Yes.
especially yeah, especially some of them travel all the way from Europe or America to Thailand just to make themselves clothes. we build a long-term relationship like that. So
Yes, it's
in
very
terms of
hard to find.
sustainability,
Yeah,
yes, yes.
yeah. It's very hard to find a tailor that understands you, because I have experienced with like a few of the tailors till I found the perfect tailor. Even though they are tailoring everything for me, it's just they just don't get it sometimes. So if so, once I found the tailor that understands my fit and can, like somehow they're just, I would say they just do their job correctly. I just,
Yep, yep, yep.
it
It's
just,
quite important.
you just, it just, like your loyalty just gets attracted or attached to them, like by
For
default.
sure, for sure. It's not just about tailoring. You build a personal relationship with your clients that they become like your friend or even like a family. I mean, I'm quite close to some of my clients, and it feels great to have this personal relationship. But yeah, so these type of things are very important for sustainability. In
Right,
terms of today's world, marketing online is quite huge right now. Let's
right,
say, for example, on Instagram or even LinkedIn
right.
is vital to for growth in the tailoring industry.
Definitely. So, like how you mentioned the times of COVID, I want to ask: does since the coronavirus started, people are, the shopping trends are changing. People are shopping more online. So,
Mhm.
you, Jaikar, being in a tailoring business, do you think online shopping is like an enemy to tailoring? Because tailoring depends on clients coming in the store and experiencing the whole shopping thing, you know so do you think online shopping is an enemy to tailoring business?
I mean, yeah, I
To what
mean,
extent, I would say.
yeah, of course, to up to an extent, but I mean, I'm not sure I would use the word. Like, I mean, you got competition in everything, like in every business you have competition. I mean, there are other tailors that are my competition also, which is normal. I
Right.
mean, this type of
Yeah.
competition is healthy. It
Yeah.
pushes you to try to do better. But yes, online shopping is making people more, like they don't want to go to experience the tailor too much. So yes, it is a competitor, but in the end, I still believe a lot of people still want to experience a tailor because you are more certain to make sure like everything that fits you perfectly. Whether, let's say for
Right.
example, it's the sleeves of a jacket. This is something I actually want to try to explain because let's say if when you put on a suit, the
Right.
sleeves of the jacket you always want to show the cuff of the shirt just a bit because it just shows some class.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
When you shop online, sometimes the sleeves don't exactly fit you. Sometimes it shows too much
That's
of the
yeah,
cuff,
that's
which
my
doesn't
problem.
look professional.
Right.
Or, yeah, and it sometimes just covers the whole cuff of the shirt, and the shirt cuff is not seen, and it just doesn't look like it doesn't look professional. It doesn't look good, and it doesn't look
It feels
tailored. So
unfinished.
I think
Yeah.
this is where exactly it doesn't feel like a finished garment exactly.
Yeah, like it's not finished yet for me. So I completely understand. So do you think there's going to be like like a online version of tailoring? Do you think that's possible? Or like for you, Jacquard, tailoring is, making relationship face to face, typical brick and mortar store experience. Do you think is there going to
Very
be an
much.
online version of tailoring?
I in the future for sure it'll be different each year actually. At the moment, I think a lot of the tailors are. I mean, a lot of online sales is going on where you have your client sizes, their
Right.
pattern, and you ship it abroad to them. So that's pretty easy. That's not so difficult. But
Yeah.
yes, online learning is already, to be honest, already implemented in today's world, where clients can already fill in their sizes, and you obviously follow the sizes that they provide. But
Right.
again, this is still difficult because when you're measuring the clients, you know exactly where like let's say
Mm.
for example, it's much better that you measure the client than they measure themselves.
Yeah, you have a better precision.
And
Yeah.
exactly. And each tailor has a different technique in cutting. the fabric or making the finished product. Everybody has a different technique.
Yeah,
So
fair.
let's say, for example, some of my clients that are abroad, let's say they get themselves measured, the way they get measured is not the same like how we measure it or how other tailors measure it, because everybody has a different technique. It's not that I'm right or they're wrong. It's not like that. So
Mm,
it's quite different. But yes,
yeah,
online shopping is actually coming quite a lot in online tailoring. I'm sorry, I mean online tailoring is
yeah,
quite
yeah.
common right now. But I think in the end, it's always better to get it face to face tailoring.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And also, loyal customers are willing to coordinate and put the effort into getting things tailored, even though any like through any means of being online. So that's
For sure. For sure.
yeah. So I think that it's not the end, like I would say, like, but if you have a loyal customers, I think they will still stick to you, like no matter what. So I think
Yeah, yeah.
that's something that you cannot get like from shopping online. Even though I buy something cheap online, once it doesn't, that's it. I'm not looking at that Instagram page or that website or that brand. It's done for me.
Yeah.
But with
Yeah.
tailoring, it's not exactly like that.
Yeah, I mean, we also travel abroad for orders. We go to them
Mm.
also if they're not like so. If they can't come to us, we go to them, which is what I'm looking to do in the future quite a lot after this coronavirus ends. And yeah, I mean,
Oh, that's
so
awesome.
that's a type of service that for tailoring it'll help grow in the future, and hopefully, yeah,
Yeah.
it works out.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Oh, I hope you get more opportunities to travel in the future, like whatever you want.
I can't wait for that.
Right. Oh, this coronavirus is being heavy for a lot of people. Can
For
understand.
sure, for sure. But it is important to stick by, wait for the good times to come back because they will come back.
Definitely, definitely. Okay. So on that note, I think I'm very happy that you shared so many insights on tailoring, and thank you for coming to this episode, Jaikar. It was really nice to have this discussion with you.
Thank you for having me, Aman. It's been great.
Yeah. Okay. On that note, that will be the end of today's episode. I hope this week's episode earned your like and subscribe. Until then, be an educated shopaholic, and I'll see you next time in the next episode. Thank you.